You're going to be listening to this story here. This lady right here, her name is Faith Ringgold, and her name is there at the top, Faith Ringgold. She likes to tell stories through her art, and I'm going to be reading to you a passage about telling stories through art. First, we're going to enjoy it and just listen to the story. I want you to listen for this. How does Faith contribute to her community? Her community might be different or the same as yours. How is she contributing to her community? What are you supposed to be listening for? Tell your partner. Okay, come back together. Thank you. Your eyes are on me. Bowen, what is the question you're listening for?
How Faith contributes to her community.
Excellent. How Faith contributes to her community. Really great job. Here we go. Listen to the story.
Faith Ringgold, telling stories through art. A young African-American girl looked out her apartment window. Her Harlem street in New York City was a patchwork of colors and shapes. It reminded her of the brightly colored quilts her mother and grandmother made. Faith listened to the stories they told while quilting. She learned about the hard life of her enslaved great-great-great-grandmother, who made quilts for plantation owners. Because her mother worked in fashion, there were always stacks of fabrics on tables and chairs. Faith was often sick as a child, so she spent a lot of time indoors with her mother. Faith's mother taught her how to sew and to see art in the world around her. She treasured those days. Faith learned that art was a way to tell a story. She created paintings that told about events taking place in the world. Other paintings told stories from her own life and those of her family, friends, and community. Faith often thought about the shapes and bold colors of her mother's many quilts. Could quilts tell a story too? Soon Faith began piecing together shapes of bright fabric to make pictures. Sometimes she would paint the fabric before cutting it into the shape she needed. Many of her story quilts tell about African American life. She filled some of her story quilts with joyful images from her childhood. One quilt told about her family's summer picnics on the tar paper roof of their apartment building. Later, she wrote a book called Tar Beach. She used the pictures from her quilt to tell the story. Today, Faith Ringgold's art is shown in museums, online, and in books. Her paintings and story quilts tell stories of joyful times and difficult times. People from all over the world have connected to the stories her artwork tells.